Today's episode is brought to you by the Be Real Podcasting Network. For more episodes like this, check out BREELnetwork.com.
So Ted Cruz likes porn.
Who?
Ted Cruz.
Never heard of her.
Never heard of her? Yeah. Apparently he likes
Oh wait, she
porn.
that Canadian?
The Canuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
He likes porn.
Apparently he likes porn.
Like-
You heard the story, the Twitter account fiasco.
Nah.
You didn't hear it? You really didn't hear it?
Nah, I've been trying to rid myself of
Yeah,
horrible politics.
His Twitter account liked a porn video that was posted by some porn Twitter or some shit like that. And he's been like a very outspoken person when it comes to like being against porn and strippers and strip clubs and anything overtly sexual that could be a danger, air quotes, to the children in society. And he's been speaking like that for years and years and years. And you know, I think it was like a couple weeks ago or like a week ago, something like that. Yeah, he came out like his like one tweet or something like that people saw, like it, you know, a little heart thing, a little like on Twitter.
Yeah,
you know, like that. Yeah, a little like. Yeah, yeah. He liked a porn video. I think the video had something to do with a porn star and her fictitious stepdaughter and this other guy and getting it on. And he was real quick to come out with a statement saying, "Oh no, that wasn't me. You know, there's a lot of people that have access to that account. You know, it was just a staffer that, you know, liked it by mistake. Methinks the lady doth protest a little bit too much." First of all, if you're a staffer who has access to the Twitter, like at the same time, like you can't accidentally like a porn video that's been tweeted.
Let's be honest, Adam. If
You
I
can't.
had access to Ted Cruz's Twitter account, you better believe I would be favoriting some of the most horrible, midget, huge strap-on porn you could think of.
Yeah,
Like,
that's kind of my point.
I would.
somebody-
I would. But
like-
that's just me. They wouldn't give me access to his account for that reason.
Like, there's no way it was an accident. No way it was an accident. Somebody wanted to kind of mess with him. And they wanted to, like, slander him a little bit.
No, I think Ted Cruz probably likes porn. Let's be
well,
honest.
that
Let's
too.
be honest.
Well, that too. But
he probably was like,
let's be
scrolling around the
honest.
Pornhub, and accidentally, maybe he didn't mean to like it, because obviously that was stupid.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like scrolling through the news feed, and his thumb might hit.
Okay,
I've done it. I've done it
if
before.
on Twitter, you've been on Twitter scrolling through porn sites? Twitter?
Not necessarily just porn, but I'm sure Ted Cruz does. I mean, look at the guy.
Well, I
He's
mean,
so uptight.
I think what you're saying is he was on a porn site and he actually hit a button that like liked it or whatever kind of bullshit. That's
It
not
could happen.
But if you're on an actual site, it's gonna tell you, are you sure you want to share this with thing? It'll let you know.
No. I mean, if he's on his Twitter feed.
Yeah, but that's
and
my point. What
he
kind of
follows all these pornos.
What kind of weirdo goes to Twitter for their jerk off sessions? Like,
I mean, he's Ted Cruz. He's Didn't his dad kill JFK? Was that what Trump told us?
I forgot about that. Yeah, I think
Trump
that
told
was
us
a
that.
thing.
Yeah.
You can't listen to what that man says.
You know what? I'm not really concerned about Ted Cruz liking porn or not liking porn in his Twitter account. I'm more worried about Donald Trump's Twitter account getting us started in World War III with North Korea. I'm more concerned about that.
I got a story about Trump later. Not Trump, mainly his supporters.
Why later? Why not now?
Because we got to get the show started.
Okay,
Get
let's
an
get it started.
intro. Welcome back to For Distraction, folks. I am Adam. Sitting across from me, as always, is the coughing fit man himself,
Yeah.
the man, the myth, the legend of sickness, Scott Malanky.
I'm getting better.
You are.
I'm getting better. Yes, we missed a week because both Adam and I were ill.
Yeah, as you can hear, I've got a bit of a cough.
So do I.
Although, let's be honest, after last year, you guys should be used to it because I had a year where I did nothing but cough in the
Yeah.
microphone. So I've been so fucking angry for the past like 2 weeks that I've been sick because I just lay in bed and I'm hacking up, I'm just coughing, and I can't cough anything up, but like it's just coughing, it won't stop, and I would just lay in bed and be like, you know, after last year, I should be like free from coughing for like the next 5 years. Like I shouldn't have to deal with coughing for like another 5 years. Like I have like I put in the bank like 5 years worth of coughing just in that 1 year. So it angered me a little bit. But I'm feeling slightly better.
I'm feeling better too. That's why we're here.
I have a feeling if I didn't have to work so much these days, I might have been able to get better a little bit quicker. But I've been a busy bee. Busy bee.
Worky work, busy bee.
Yeah, working, going to school, programming, all the shit. Speaking France.
Podcasting.
All français. Podcasting. Public speaking.
Fucking bitches.
Oh, yeah.
It's when I laugh. That's
Yeah.
what I
By the way, I'm not gonna edit out all the coughs for those of you listeners. Just letting you know ahead of time because he's gonna cough. I'm gonna cough. It's gonna be too much. Too much.
This
I'm not
is
doing
Coughcast.
it. Yeah, cough.
2017 Coughcast.
I'm not doing it.
Deal with
But it's great to be back. We couldn't miss 2 weeks. There's no
No.
way we could do that. So
And the last time we got together was kind of a shit show too.
well, no, I don't. A little bit.
I mean,
A
it
little
was
bit.
a shit. It's
A little
true.
bit.
It was. I mean, I'm not saying the podcast is a shit show. The gathering was a shit show.
Yeah, I don't have the setup for a huge group podcast like that. I hope now that I know that that's a possibility in the future, I'm gonna try to get a setup going for that. But basically, it was like 8 people sitting around a table, but like 2 people had to share microphones each, and obviously I wasn't involved in the podcast. You heard me yelling every now and then when certain comments were made, but besides that, I wasn't involved because there just wasn't enough room, and I allotted myself to the position of tech. I was a tech that night, so
Yeah, I feel like we had too many people on the show. A lot of interesting people that I wanted to have on the show. It just we should have broke it up into a couple. It was just too much going on.
Deloney had a great idea for that night, and thinking back, I wish we'd have done his idea for how to run that show the way we should have done it. But hindsight's 2020. You live, you learn, you love, then you die. So
You live, you learn, you fuck, you die.
yes,
Hey, the beer of the show.
beer of the show.
Beer of the show is from the Brutus Brewery. Brutus Brewing Company in beautiful downtown Sharon, Pennsylvania. We've had a couple of their beers before. This one is one of my favorites from them. I've had this before, and the last time we had them, I wanted to have this on for the beer of the show, and they were out of it. So I got something different that I didn't like quite as much. But today's beer of the show from Brutus is the Artificial Intelligence. It is their West Coast IPA. And I love West Coast IPAs, man.
Weird thought. I just had a weird thought for a beer name. The Artificial Inseminator. I don't know why. You said artificial, and that's the first word that popped
Artificial insemination.
in my head. Yeah.
No, it's the Artificial Intelligence. I don't make the names, but
I don't know. That just popped
the
in my head.
AI.
I was like, what kind of beer would that be?
it's the AI. It's West Coast IPA. Now, I was in California this summer, and their IPAs there are all West Coast. That's like their thing, because it's the West Coast. And I love them. I love them better. And I'm a big IPA fan, but I like West Coast IPAs more. They're not quite as bitter, not quite as hoppy. They use a different kind of hops and don't use as many. So I just really like it. And my friends and cousins that I was with out there drinking, they've been out here to our neck of the woods, and they said, yeah, your IPAs out there, the regular IPAs from the East, you guys are all hop. They called us hop heads. Hop heads. Your IPAs are too bittery and too hoppy. So the ones out there aren't quite as bad. So I'm a big fan of it. It has a little bit of a citrus flavor to it. I pick up on the citrus. I also was just chewing a cough drop, so that probably
No, I
changes the taste a little bit.
I taste a little bit of citrus too. Just a little bit, just a hint.
Okay, well, I will go first. I love this beer. I think it's great, and I'm going to give it a 5. I'm going to give it a 5 because it's one of my favorites. And typically, Brutus, I feel their beers are watery. And not this one. Not this one. And that's why I like it so much, and that's why I'm going to give it a perfect score of a 5. Because that's my only... Their beers are tasty there. But I feel like they're too watery. Not this one.
You throw 5s out like left and right. You throw 5s out left and right.
I like beer,
time.
Adam. You don't like beer.
I don't feel like that. 5 rating. It's got to be taken with a little bit of a grain of salt, I think, because you throw them out like they're hotcakes.
I like beer. I go and I get beers that I like for beer of the show. So that's why it's a 5.
Yeah, you just throw them out like they're nothing. It's a good beer. It's not too bittery for me. It's got almost a perfect amount of bite to it. As you said, we did taste a little bit of the citrus. It's not a very dark beer. It's kind of like in the middle range, I guess you would say. It's a little in between, so it's not too dark. It's not too light either.
It's got an amber cloudiness to it, like a typical IPA would.
It's an IPA I can get down with.
Kind of a caramel tint.
As everybody knows, I'm not the biggest fan of IPAs, but this tastes like an IPA I can definitely get down with. If I had to rate it, give it a 4.
That's pretty good. That's the highest you've ever given an IPA.
It's a 4.
Coming around.
I could drink this very casually. Like it's actually I could actually just order this in a bar.
Yeah.
That's how it tastes.
You, sir, are coming around. I'm proud of you.
Give me some more IPAs that taste actually good, then hey. So I watched a movie, Scotty Malaki, recently. I saw Stephen King's It.
Oh.
2017. Stephen King's It.
Stephen King's It. The new one with what's the guy? Skizgard's is it Alexander Skizgard or Dan Skizgard?
Who
plays Pennywise?
I'm looking it up.
He's one of the Skizgards, if I'm saying that right. Skizgard.
I'm looking it up right now. It's Bill Skarsgård.
Skarsgård.
Billy Skarsgård.
Yeah, I like him.
Billy Skarsgård here. ShamWow. No. Bill Skarsgård. He plays Pennywise. He did a really good Pennywise, in my opinion.
Is he better than Tim Curry? That's hard to do. Tim Curry's amazing.
Okay.
I didn't see the new one. I have not seen the new It. And to be honest with you, the original It, I haven't seen it in years. I don't think I liked it that much. I remember I love Tim Curry, and I think he was terrifying in it. But other than that, the movie itself was
Well,
in my humble opinion.
The thing to remember with the original movie, it was a made-for-TV movie.
It was.
It wasn't like a cinematic.
But so was The Stand. Stephen King's The Stand, and I love that.
It was okay. Sam was okay.
See, I love it. I love The Stand, but it was also made for TV. Yes.
But yeah, it was a made-for-TV movie, and yes, Tim Curry stole the show in the original one.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for Tim Curry, the movie probably would have sucked.
Dude,
to be perfectly honest.
I remember being like, "What the fuck?" At the end, he turned into that spider.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? That was fucking bull. What the fuck was that?
Well, Please
tell me he doesn't turn into a spider in this one.
Well, that's one of the forms that's in his book. Because if you know before I saw this movie, when the trailer first started coming out, I was watching it. I was like, I'm the kind of person where it's like, I got to look up the lore. I look up the lore of things that I don't know about. And it's like, I had to look up the lore. I've looked up the lore in like Cthulhu shit. I've looked up the lore in, all these other kind of things. Cthulhu stuff. Like that kind of, because I told you I was reading,
the H.P. Lovecraft?
Yeah, I started reading that and I was like, what exactly is Cthulhu? So I looked up some of the lore in that. I decided to look up the lore for Pennywise.
Okay.
And Pennywise is like an entity from like another universe.
Another dimension?
Kind of, yeah.
Or an alien, extraterrestrial?
No, think of him more like an entity from another dimension. He exists outside
interdimensional being?
Yes, okay. He exists outside of our universe. He's like a god, essentially. Like, he is immortal. He lives forever. He has unlimited power. He can do basically whatever the hell he wants. And he just feeds off of beings. He feeds. And if you remember in the Tim Curry, I believe it was a Tim Curry version of it, he mentions that he is the Eater of Worlds. Galactimus! The Eater of Worlds. He's the Eater of Worlds, basically.
We need the Silver Surfer!
Yeah. He calls himself, he refers to himself as the Eater of Worlds. That's what he does. He goes and he feeds off the fear, and he chews children, I think. I think he just chews children. But anyway, I looked into the lore.
But he eats kids.
Yeah, he eats kids. He eats not just their bodies, but he feeds on their fear. That's why he does all the scary shit. I think partially because he enjoys it, but partially because it just tastes so good when they're fearful. Tastes so delicious. And that's kind of referred to a little bit in the new Stephen King. Not so much the whole he's the Eater of Worlds or anything like that, but he basically refers to the children's fear and how you're so much more tastier when you're afraid and this and that.
Doesn't he come back like every 30 years or something like that?
It's in the book and this new movie, it's 27 years. In the original one, they opted to do every 30 years.
Okay.
He comes out every 27 years, fills himself up, and then hibernates. and every 27 years he does it again. It's just a cycle.
How
Cyclical.
many kids does he have to like put down?
Mm.
Is there like a Ernest Scared Stupid, like a certain number he's got to get before he?
Yeah, he dries them all up and he turns them to wood or whatever. He puts little figures and not just. I don't know. I don't think there's
Mulgarian Miak. You didn't think I could get any because it's not in season, huh?
No, like I think it's just till he's full. I think that's just. It's just. I think there's a specific number. But anyway, I digress. I think it was a good movie. Like we were talking about the original It, Tim Curry. Tim Curry was the best part of it. The difference between that It and the Bill Skarsgård It. Tim Curry was very charming in It. He was a very charming It. He was scary and he was freaky, but he was having fun with it.
That's because he's fucking Tim Curry. Okay,
yeah,
he was amazing.
And it was like he's like, you got to play a clown, but you got to play like a monster clown. So he went real clownish with his monster stuff, and it was really good. The Bill Skarsgård It was also really good. He didn't copy off the Tim Curry. That's the thing. He did his own thing. He was more like a childlike wonder a lot of the times when he was dealing with the kids, when he was like scaring them and things like that. Like it was almost like he was a lion playing with his food. Like it felt like that, but he was really scary. Like he was horror type. Like there was the I don't want to spoil it, but I'll talk about one scene. He was one of the chubby kid from the thing. There was always the stereotypical chubby kid in like the 80s and 90s movies that they would make. Well, there was a stereotypical chubby kid, and he was in the basement of this library, and he started getting chased by one of its illusions. It was like a headless dead body that was kind of chasing him. And at one point, all of a sudden you hear that goes to silence. You hear it say, "Turn, like, hey, fat boy," and he turns around and it's It, just in his clown form, just chasing him with like beady red eyes. And it was really, really freaky. Like it was really scary, and it wasn't like funny. Like one thing I did enjoy about this movie, it didn't rely too heavily on the jump scares. Like a lot of horror movies today, they rely almost too heavily on jump scares.
Yeah,
like throwing things in your face. It was really creepy. Every now and then there was a bit of the jump scare, but it wasn't too much. And it was actually like, I wouldn't say I was afraid, but it was one of those few horror movies where I'm like, I can get down with this. This is a good horror movie. It was really good.
Was there those suspenseful scenes where it's all quiet and somebody's like, you're waiting for a jump scare, or you're waiting for something to happen, a real slow played suspenseful scene? Did they have many of those? Those drive me nuts.
There might have been a couple of those, but they didn't end with a jump scare usually. They didn't end with something popping in front of you usually. It was more it led to something. So they did. If you don't know about the Tim Curry, the made-for-TV trailer in the 90s, the movie they did, it jumped back and forth between adult and childhood, telling the story of how the kids first fought Pennywise as they were kids, and they fought him again as adults. Spoilers for if you didn't know. They didn't do that in this movie. It was all children, all kids. But it's not a spoiler because we all knew it was going to happen. There's going to be a sequel. The movie ends with It Chapter 1. Place on the thing. So there's going to be a Chapter 2 with them as adults, when they have to come back 27 years later and fight Pennywise again. So, once again, there's no spoilers for that because if you knew anything about it...
It made a ton of money, so they're going to make a sequel. No one was surprised about that.
Yeah, so they're going to make a sequel. I thought it was good. There was one direction they went with it when it comes... I heard a lot of criticism about the CGI. The CGI looked poor. The CGI didn't look well. The thing about the CGI is they went with a specific style. The scenes with It, when he has to do something completely supernatural... the CGI style they did with that, what it felt like to me, it was really hyper-focused on the Pennywise character, where it's like, if something's going on, like, for example, he's jumping towards you and the camera's real focused in on him, it felt like everything else around him was, like, kind of blurry, and it was hyper-focused on the It character, specifically his head. It almost felt like there were times when his head was detached from his body, sort of, where it looked like his body was doing something, but his head was perfectly still. It was meant to add, like, an element of fear. Kind of like showing you, like, just making you look into Pennywise's eyes. Some people criticized saying it was poor. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was a stylized choice for the movie.
Do you recommend the movie?
I do. I actually recommend seeing it in theaters.
Yeah?
See it in theaters. Big screen, take your date to it. It's nice and scary, hey, something might happen, the date will get close to you. You know how men or women that are pansies get really scared of things and things like that. It's a good. I think it's a good one of those good scary date movies.
Okay, I'm not afraid of clowns. So many people have a fear of clowns. I'm not one. Like, at all. Like, I was a fan of clowns as a kid. Like, I went to birthday parties with clowns. I enjoyed clowns.
Clowns are creepy. They're just creepy.
I mean, I'm not,
I'm not afraid
out.
of them, but they're creepy.
I'm not creeped out by them at all.
There's something creepy about a dude putting on white makeup and some weird, colorful makeup and a crazy wig and going to entertain children like that. There's something weird about that. Mm-hmm. Something's going on. Well, to go along with the It story, we're going to talk about Trump.
Oh, we are. Speaking of clowns.
You may ask, how can we talk about Stephen King's It and segue into a Trump story? You guys are you're just pushing buttons right now. That's all you're doing. You're just riding the donkey. That's all you're doing. Riding the donkey.
Riding the donkey.
So riding the donkey.
You're punching the donkey.
Yeah. Or I guess you would say elephant in this case. You're riding the elephant. There was a big movement. Trump, not Trump, but his supporters decided to put out a big movement on Reddit and Twitter and all these other social media sites saying boycott at least the first couple weeks of Stephen King's It movie.
Why?
There was a big movement where people were saying, here's the quote from what they're saying. Okay, everyone, please do not go see Stephen King's new It movie this weekend when it opens. If you have to see it, wait till after opening weekend so he has a lousy showing this week. Trump stands up for us, so we should stand up for him. Why, oh why would they bring up Trump in this? Well, Stephen King is very outspoken in his dislike for the president.
Right.
He's extremely outspoken, and before it came out, he made a tweet. Apparently, Trump blocked him from his Twitter. Trump can no longer see his Twitter, and Stephen King can no longer tweet at Trump. So Stephen King put out a tweet saying, Donald Trump blocked me on Twitter. I am hereby blocking him from seeing It or Mr. Mercedes. No clowns for you, Donald. Go float yourself. So after that, Trump supporters got real pissed off, and they told everybody to boycott the movie. Give him a lousing opening weekend. Make it one of the worst opening weekends ever.
Adam, how'd that work out?
It worked out the exact opposite of what they wanted. It had one of the best opening weekends of any movie.
Yes.
Like, everybody went to go see this movie. Like
it's like the highest grossing horror film of all time, right?
It might be. Like,
no, I think I heard that. Or at least the highest grossing opening for a horror film of all time.
Stephen King made buku fucking bucks off this. Like, yeah. It worked out the exact opposite. That was never gonna go down. I'm sure some people boycotted the movie, but they were left in the winds of just the whispers.
Trump loses the popular vote again.
Like, honestly, it wasn't gonna happen. But yeah, I didn't know Stephen King hated Trump as much as he did.
I knew
I guess it makes sense, but
I knew he was a big progressive liberal. I know Stephen King's from New England, and there's all of 11 Republicans in all of New England. So
yeah,
but yeah, okay. I'm curious. I mean, Trump can go fuck himself, and I want to see it, so I'm gonna go see it now that you recommend it.
They say this isn't the first boycott to go on in the Trump era, but they say it is the most unsuccessful boycott by the Trump supporters. It is one of the most unsuccessful. Basically, it did the opposite of
Here, Trump supporters, take this L.
Yeah.
So, Adam, there's something I would like to bring up. We may have discussed this before on an older podcast, but never really gotten too much in depth with it. It's something that kind of grinds my gears, something that gets me in a tiffy.
Every time you say grinds my gears, you got to pay Seth MacFarlane a little chump of change.
Yeah, I don't think that's true, but okay, I'm not going to. But at any rate, it's something how I feel, and maybe I have a prejudice, I don't know, but it's going to be very unpopular, probably with you and with most of the people listening. But
oh boy, I can't wait for this one.
But I have my issues with, are you ready for this? Service dogs, or service animals, we'll say.
Why? Before we go into this, I want you to know that you're probably wrong in what you're going to say. If you say you have a problem with service dog, are you saying you have a problem with service dog being a thing?
not necessarily being a thing, but utilized to the way that they are. And I might be wrong. I might
very well. I'm going to hear you out.
Okay.
You
yes.
very well
please
might be wrong.
Please
now.
do. And
I'll be more than happy
first
to
of all,
point
I'm
it
going to say I am an animal lover. I am. I have pretty much had a dog at some point my entire life, a pet. Cats, dogs. You've talked about on the show. You have cats. You have dogs. We love animals. I'm an animal lover.
Some say we love them a little too much.
Oh, hey. Maybe Ted Cruz will find our bestiality porn. Or not, because there's not out there.
Dolphin Fucker, 2016.
Anyway, a video recently came out. I don't know if you saw it. It was trending all over social media.
No, I tell you.
A young woman, and there was a restaurant, and I think the restaurant was something like Wendy's or an Arby's or Hardee's or Carl's Jr. something. It looked kind of like that, and whoever recorded it with their smartphone. It was poor quality, but they were getting. It's one of those viral videos where people get into a fight. World star.
Scott's trying to tell us about some viral video that went out, and he has to make a comment on the quality of said video.
It was. I want to paint the picture here. I want everybody to.
The writing was horrible. Whoever produced this movie, oh my god.
I will post a link to it on our social media accounts for your distraction, but anyway, it's relevant. The video starts late. They're already having this argument. And the young woman is complaining. And she's there with, I don't know if it's her husband, her boyfriend, significant other, just a friend. These people came in the restaurant behind them with a giant dog. Like Mastiff, like Great Dane looking thing. I don't know what kind of breed it was, but it was a huge dog. It had one of the vests on that said service animal. And this lady absolutely loses her shit on these people, saying that is a filthy animal. It should not be in a place where food is served and prepared. There should be a designated area where you have to go with your animal. And these people were saying, according to the law, we have a service animal. We can bring our service animal. They just get into it hardcore. And then they start swearing at each other. It gets completely, in Trump's America, everything like that gets blown out of proportion. And I think the woman was wrong. I do. I'm fine with that happening, but I have worked in the service industry for over a decade. I have seen people, and I'm using air quotes here, bring in their service animal that might be, a toy poodle in their purse, like a Paris Hilton Chihuahua, and claim it to be a service animal. And there ain't no fucking way that this little Yorkie is going to be a service animal. I'm sorry. What's it going to do? Are you blind? Is it going to be your seeing eye dog? Now, I hate to discriminate based on breed of the dog, but
yeah, racist.
I kind of am, because if somebody were to come in with a lab or a golden retriever or even a German shepherd, those kind of. You see those dogs more often in service fields, like a seeing eye dog. Obviously, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But I've seen it. I've had people do, and I don't know the legal aspect of it, but I've seen videos of it before, other videos where people say it's not legally required by law for them to have their paperwork with them, carry their paperwork with them at all time, saying that their dog is a service pet. I've read stories on here, and now it's a fucking animal. Everybody loves dogs. Everybody's going to come to the defense of, well, dogs can smell when you're having a low sugar attack and bark, or when autistic kids are acting up, it calms them down to pet a dog. Like, therapy dogs are different than service dogs. It's a complete different thing. I just feel that there are people who abuse this system and claim to have these pets service animals when they're not.
I'm going to read you an article I just pulled up.
Okay, I want to hear this article.
It's from servicedoggcentral.org.
Okay, so this site, it's a .org, I respect .orgs, but they're going to be pro service dog because they wouldn't be a thing if it wasn't for service dogs.
What breeds of dogs can be a service dog?
Okay.
That's the title of it. This is a very complex question. I'm just going to read. It's a very short thing, so I'm just going to read it all.
Yeah, okay.
Traditional breeds for service dog have been German Shepherds, Labradors, Golden Retrievers. But nowadays, the use of unusual breeds has exploded. Mastiffs are used for mobility work. Chihuahuas are used for diabetic or seizure alerts. If the dog has the temperament, skill, and willingness to work, almost any breed can be used for certain jobs. A Corgi wouldn't work out for pulling a wheelchair, but could work out as a hearing dog. Could work as a hearing dog. Breeds like pugs and bulldogs don't always make the best service dogs due to the pushed-in noses. This leads to difficult breathing while walking and a shorter working life, while toy breeds can do some service, or end of sentence. While toy dogs breeds can do some service dog jobs, they are not often taken seriously by store employees and the public, especially if dressed up like someone's child. Smaller breeds are being used by more disabled people on a fixed income, as they eat less and can live happier in a smaller home. A Cocker Spaniel can alert to a sound just as well as a Labrador. Bully breeds, Dobermans, and Rottweilers are used as service dogs as well. This can cause problems in areas with breeding specific legislations, aka breed bans. Some cities require service dogs of a banned breed to be muzzled. That's going into something else. Mm-hmm. Housing may also be an issue with banned. Okay, that's going into something else. But basically, what it's saying is, pretty much any dog can be a service dog. Okay, right. It's specifically for certain types. Like, for example, if you have seizures a lot, like you mentioned the Chihuahua, a Chihuahua could be trained to recognize a seizure and alert and start yipping and barking really loud to let people know, hey, something's going on, hey, something's going on. Not to mention, there is the fixed income issue, okay? Smaller dogs do require less of an income. So there is, in my intro to public speaking class, there is somebody who is in a wheelchair, and she is a service dog as well. Hers is like generic, I think it's a lab or golden or something like that.
Labs are generic now?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like the generic, like you would see as a service dog.
Oh,
like,
right.
Like one of those kind of dogs. But she talks about how, it helps her if she gets in trouble. The dog can, run off and bark or just bark real loud. Or if she drops something, the dog can reach down and pick it up and give it back to her. Smaller dogs can do the same thing. A smaller dog could, if you drop a piece of paper, a dog can jump down, grab a piece of paper, jump back up and hand it back to you. Or you drop a pencil, they can do the same thing. Little dogs can do the same thing too.
I understand.
Don't discriminate against the little dogs, and bigger dogs can be used as well for mobility work. What if this person in a wheelchair falls out of her wheelchair? The big dog is strong enough to be able to lift her up back into the wheelchair if nobody else is around.
I understand the usefulness of it. That's not a question. The website you pulled up, I don't know. I don't want to take too much time, but does it say anything about certifications? Are you required to have your dog labeled? Like, I see dogs like the video in question. The dog had like a vest on.
Yeah, they usually
said service dog.
Yeah,
I've seen people with a dog with a collar with a leash saying, "Oh, it's a service dog," and you say, "Oh, well, it doesn't have the vest on that says service dog. Do you have any paperwork?" And they say, "By law, you're not required to have the paperwork." Well, I don't know if that's true or false, but I feel like if those people are right and you're not required to have your dog labeled a service dog, then people will abuse this. People will bring their little pet and claim it to be a service dog. And then why have them at all? Then just bring dogs in I think dogs are dirty and they shouldn't be in places where food is prepared and served. I agree with that. If it's a service dog, obviously that's an exception to the rule. But you need to have strict rules and regulations about what classifies as a service dog. And do you have to have it labeled as I'm using the word label. I don't think that's correct. Just like have some form of documentation.
I found something else too. Okay. According to this website, ada.gov, which it covers basically the laws of when it comes to service dogs, or at least this particular article has a lot of Q&As asking commonly asked questions, and they answer the question for you. It seems like no. The answer is no. They don't have to be registered to be a specific service dog. It's not part of the law.
That's what I was told, and I didn't know if that was true, but apparently it is.
Apparently it is. Here's a question. Does the ADA require service animals to be professionally trained? The answer, no. Service dog does not have to be professionally trained. People with disabilities have the right to train the dog themselves and are not required to use a professionally trained dog training program. So if you're good at training dogs, you have the right to train your dog yourself. You don't need to do that. And I don't think a service dog necessarily has to wear a vest too. A lot of times they do. A lot of times they do just because people want to make sure they know like this
just
is a
to avoid
dog.
this problem.
Exactly, but I don't think it's you have to legally have.
No, I don't think you do either, and that's what I have a problem with.
No, I don't have a problem with that.
I do have a problem with that.
Why?
Because there's going to be people, and I have family members, I know friends, and it drives me nuts. I have a dog. I love my dog. But when we go somewhere, guess what? Our dog stays home. We don't bring our dog with us.
Because you don't need your dog.
You don't need your dog.
But people with disabilities do. There are a lot of people with disabilities that do need their dog.
I understand that, and that's fine. Those people with disabilities can bring their dog at them. I'm talking about people who don't have disabilities. People who are fucking fine, and they just like their fucking animal. And they want to bring their animal with them. I have an aunt. She's a real piece of work. She brings her 3 giant German Shepherds with her everywhere she goes. And I shouldn't say that. One of them is a mean motherfucker. It will bite your ass. And the other 2 are okay. But she brings them fucking everywhere. She goes to the store. She goes to my grandfather's house for dinner. She leaves them in the car with the windows cracked. Like, nothing makes me more mad when you hear stories about people who leave their pet in the car and they die because it's too hot.
What does that have to do with service dogs?
I'm telling you, she would probably... If she does this, she could say, oh, my dogs are service dogs. They're coming in with me.
But does she do that?
I don't know.
Then it's an irrelevant argument because she doesn't do that.
Tell me right now on this podcast that you are sure that no people do that. There are 0 people who say, oh, I have a service dog when it's not a service dog
whatsoever. If you can think it happens, Scott. That's the world we live in.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't
So you're saying that they should have to be registered service dogs?
You should have to be registered service dogs.
So that people have
some kind of training.
So that people have the knowledge that, hey, these are service dogs. Is that what you're saying? So that no mistakes are made, so that no confusion is generated.
Yes. I think there will be people who would abuse that, who want to bring their dog with them, and they say, oh, this is my little yippy dog on a leash, and I'm calling it a service dog, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it. Because according to this law, they don't have to have a vest, I don't have to have documentation, I don't have to have it trained, I could have trained it myself, and it's coming with me. We were saying, well, what's your disability? You can't ask somebody that. I'm not going to ask somebody what their disability is. Well, I know this person has a disability.
Why can't you ask somebody what their disability is? Why can't
That's not appropriate.
So then shut up
what
about
if it's something private?
If you're not going to be confident enough to ask about their disability, then don't speak up about the service dog then.
So you're okay with asking a human being
what
their disability is, but you're not okay with asking a dog.
If I'm having a conversation with somebody and it's not blatantly obvious what their disability is and they're saying, I got a service dog, I'll be like, oh, you're disabled, what's your disability? I can't tell. That's not a rude thing to ask.
Yes, I feel that it is.
It's not.
I feel that it absolutely is.
It's 100% not.
It's HIPAA. You can't. It's a medical condition. You're not forced to.
And you know what? Do what they say. Well, I'm not comfortable talking about it. Like, all right, fine.
Okay.
Whoop-de-doo. I don't care. I'll ask somebody all I want. If I'm having a conversation with somebody and they say, oh, I have a service animal or I have a service pet, I'm like, oh, that's cool. And if they're not blatant, if they're not obviously disabled, like if they're not in a fucking wheelchair, or I can tell that they don't have like a missing a leg or something like that, or missing an arm, I'll ask them like, oh, I can't even tell. Like, what's your disability? I can't even tell. Just out of curiosity. And if they get really rude about it, I'd be like, well, then why did you bring up you have a service dog if you don't want to talk about your disability?
Because you don't legally have to.
No, but what I'm saying is, if I'm in the middle of a conversation and they bring up they have a service animal, or they say, oh, this is my service animal, if they're going to bring it up that they have a service animal, and I can't, and they get pissed off that I ask what their disability is, well, then don't bring up you have a fucking service animal in the first place.
Because they want to bring their animal into the establishment.
Then they can't be rude if I ask them what their disability is.
And they don't have to answer you.
That's fine. They don't have to answer me, but it doesn't mean I should feel bad about asking.
Okay. Well, if you don't, that's fine. I wouldn't. I find that rude, but you can do it. That's fine.
Then don't question their service dog. If you find it rude, to ask about their disability,
people are more important than animals. I'm sorry.
If you find it rude to ask about their disability, then you got to find it rude to ask about their service dog too.
Human beings have rights. Animals do not.
Animals should have rights. They should have rights because
more than humans.
Because there's something
better than humans.
I didn't say more than humans. That's not irrelevant. You said human beings have rights. Pets, animals do not. Animals should have rights.
Animals are property. Animals are property.
But they not all animals should be property in certain ways.
Oh, you can't abuse your dog. There's rules and laws against that.
So then animals do have rights.
I guess to a point.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Just as much as you can't destroy somebody's car.
Yes.
That's against the law too. So I guess a car has rights. A car has just as many rights as a dog. Then
sure,
I'm okay with that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. I'm fine with that too. I'm just saying. What I'm saying is, if you think it's not rude to come at somebody because of their service animal, say, why do you need a service dog but I don't? But then you're like, well, wait a minute, I don't want to ask them what their disability is. But you're going to come at them because they have a service dog?
It would be much easier to say, hey, you got to have a little vest on your little
Why should they
dog.
have to do that, though? Why should they have to?
To establish...
But
I just know...
Why should they have to?
I know there's going to be assholes that just want to bring their fucking poodle into McDonald's, and because of that, they're going to lie and say they have a disability. They're not going to tell you what it is, and this is my service dog. I don't have to display anything that tells you that was my service dog. These people just want to bring their fucking dog into the store.
This argument reminds me of another argument we had before about something else, which might not connect entirely, but it does connect in a way. We're talking about rights, and we're talking about people taking advantage of rights, and there's nothing that anybody can do about it because you can't prove anything. When we were talking about the transgender bathroom thing, and we were having the argument where you were arguing that it doesn't matter, if you consider yourself a woman, you should be able to use a women's bathroom. And I said, I agree with that, but there's another side of the story where it's like, how can you prove that this person's transgender? What if it's just some guy lying about it, and he's saying, oh, I am transgender, but he actually wants to go in there so he can peep on, your daughter taking a whiz.
Right, but how do you stop that?
But you want to register service dogs, maybe we should register transgender people too, Scott.
You can't compare people to dogs. I'm sorry. It's apples to kangaroos. It's like.
But I'm not talking about dogs. I'm talking about the people that lie about the dogs.
No, I wouldn't.
You just said anybody.
Their property.
You just said anybody. Any old Joe can lie about having a poodle and say, "Oh, that's just service dog," and there's nothing we can do about it. Any old Joe can lie about being transgender, and they can go into the bathroom and peep on your daughter.
I understand that, but they're people. You have to register
the people that are transgender, and they're also people that are disabled that have service dogs.
You have to register your car. You have to register your gun. You should have to register your pet. And you do. People have to have like a dog registration. You have to do it every year, every couple years, I think. But if you want to be a service dog and you want to have your dog, no questions asked, walking into eateries, then you should have a separate certification for that.
Well, there's a problem. How much money is that going to cost, though? Some people, it costs money. When you register, it costs money. Do you know how much money the government can charge them if they want to make a lot of money off of disabled people?
Why does it have to be the government? Why can't it go through a charity, a private company? I don't know. Could be the government.
Because you want to register, because the idea of registering is you register with the government so the government knows, so if something happens that they have it on their records.
Car insurances come through private companies.
Then it'll cost even more.
It would.
It'll cost even more.
Yes,
so basically what you're saying is not only do they have to pay outrageous prices for their doctor's bills, they have to pay outrageous prices, say if they need a wheelchair.
I agree with that.
They have to pay outrageous prices already to take care of a dog, make sure that, because let's be honest, if you have a service dog compared to a regular pet, you're spending way more money on the service dog because it's extremely important to you and you have to make sure it's healthy. If it gets a little cough or a sniffle, you're taking that fucking dog to the vet so that you can make sure that there's nothing wrong with it because it is an investment.
You get a pet, you got a responsibility. It's part of the game. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, they're already Billy Madison.
Yeah, that's it.
What I'm saying is they're already paying out their ass for just being disabled and having to deal with what they're dealing with. Now you're saying, well, they need to pay even more money so they can register just so I have peace of mind. And so that there's nothing unfair that happens for me.
I had a friend.
I can't take my dog anywhere. Why should they? It's the health insurance argument. I can't take my dog anywhere. Why should they get to? I don't get health insurance for free. Why should they get health insurance for free?
Because everybody should have health insurance for free.
But do you understand the argument? Like, I can't have this benefit. Why should they get the benefit? Do you understand that argument?
I had a friend growing up, and I don't know the backstory, but terrified of animals, terrified of dogs. I had, like I said, I always had a dog, and sometimes I had dogs that weren't that well behaved, and they'd jump, lick, nicest things. I'd never hurt a fly. But when my friend would come over to my house when we were younger, we had to put the dog in the basement, tie it to a tree, do something while my friend was there because he was mortified of dogs. I don't know if he was attacked or bit when he was young or something that traumatized him. I don't know, but he never had a dog because he was afraid of it. Always afraid of dogs. I thought that was weird, but he was a weirdo. I just find it like, what if he goes somewhere, a kid goes somewhere who's terrified of dogs, and somebody's got a giant bull mastiff waiting in there? Like, the kid's gonna be afraid. People are more important than dogs. I'm sorry, I will take that to the grave. I love dogs. I'm an animal friend of the animals, but not when it comes to people. People are more important.
So your argument to say, well, the reason why we need this is because, what if you come across some kid that's afraid of dogs, and then
that's just one of the many arguments.
Yeah, but there are kids that are afraid of knives, there are kids that are afraid of cars, there are kids that are afraid of all kinds of things. You can't just make one specific argument for that kid because then you're gonna have to ban everything.
But an animal, it's still an animal.
And a car's a car, and there are kids that are afraid of cars.
Yes. And cars are much
Everywhere.
more regulated. They're much more regulated.
And they're everywhere. But what does that have to do with... So, if a kid...
I'm not saying ban dogs. I'm saying regulate them like we do cars.
I don't understand your argument. What you're saying is, yeah, the kid's afraid of the dogs, so, we need to have them registered. But it's not going to take... The fact the dog is registered is not going to take away the kid's fear of dogs, because it's still going to be freaking out because there's a dog there. Whether she has a registration or not.
Well, that's his own problem then. Like I said,
it's her own problem.
Like I said, he was a weirdo. But
it's her own problem
I was just trying to draw a correlation, but there are issues with having these dogs in there. My aunt has a mean fucking dog. I'd be willing to bet service dogs that perform these tasks for these people are wonderful creatures. And they've been trained properly, and they won't be mean animals. My aunt's dog's a piece of shit, and it would bite your ass. And I could see her. I don't know if she does. I can't say yes or no. But I would not be shocked if she were one of the people. If she knew that law that you just read to me from your computer, she'd be like, oh, well, I'm just going to bring my dogs into Kmart. And it'll bite somebody. Bite somebody right in their ass. And
then they'll get in trouble for it if it bites them because the person can sue them.
Right.
Yes.
My aunt doesn't have a pot to piss in. They're going to get no money from her.
But it doesn't matter, though.
I just think to avoid this... I just want to see regulations on these animals. I want if it's a true to the blue service dog performing a task, helping people with a disability, then I'm 100% fine with it. But I just know that there's going to be these asshole people out there abusing the system. I mean, people complain about people doing that for welfare. Doesn't mean we take welfare off of everybody, but we have regulations behind it. You have to meet these certain classifications, and that's what I'm asking we do. We have next to nothing for these dogs.
According to the Huffington Post, we're talking there. It was National Dog Month or some bullshit like that. Sometime ago. I don't know when this article was written. I don't know, but it says service dogs do not require certification. Okay, first of all, we're getting to this. Their registering a service dog is purely voluntary, but most registry services out there are scams that sell false credentials. So there are services out there that sell false credentials. Getting past that, the thinking behind the reason why it's not required that disabled people have to register their service dog is people with disabilities already have a difficult time and they don't need to be harassed about their service dogs. They already have a difficult time enough dealing with their disability. They don't need to be harassed about the fact that their service dog and whether they need to pay extra money to make sure that they have their dog properly registered. Most people that are disabled, Scott, are going to get a dog that's properly trained. All right, majority of the people out there are going to get a dog that is properly trained because they're not looking at it as like, oh, I want a novelty pet so they could take it out in the thing, like blah, blah, this and that and thing. The majority of the people want a dog that's properly trained. It's the minority that takes advantage of the thing. Once again, we're going back to the whole idea of don't let the minority fuck with the majority. Don't let the minority of people who are on welfare fuck with the people that actually the majority that need the welfare.
Right.
Don't let the minority of people that take advantage of the disabled law fuck with the people that need this law or need to not have it law.
And I agree with that, but
your problem.
No, I do agree with that to a point. No, Adam. I agree with that to a point, but there's no regulations at all. There's none. Welfare has serious regulations. Owning a car, owning a gun, these things. They have serious regulations.
But it hasn't done anything to help anything, though. So what does it matter if you have to have regulations
sure
for a
it
service dog?
does.
It does.
Absolutely.
But there's still too much. There's still too many.
There's still too much.
Too many people that take advantage of the wearable system. There's too many people that kill each other with unregistered gun. There's too many unregistered cars out there. So it's not going to do that much. And not to mention, if there were
people run stop signs at them.
If there were
let's get rid of stop signs.
If the entire country was plagued by dog attacks and there were left and right monkeys were flinging shit at people and there was like cats clawing people and little pugs were chewing
cats
at
and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
If there were pugs just nipping at people's ankles and it was a fucking epidemic, then I'd be like, yeah, okay, I get it. You know, whatever. That needs to be a thing. But that's not happening.
That was my argument with the transgender.
That's not
You got me there.
So...
That was my argument. That was my argument with the transgender bathrooms. They tried to make this big whole fucking stink about
something that's not
having birth certificates because what if, like you said, what if there's some pervert who claims to be a female but he just wants to go in there? Well, that would be if it was an epidemic of that was happening.
Yes.
It's not a problem. You know, these people who wanted to lay the law down on transgenders going into whatever bathroom, they made a problem out of nothing. I see what you're saying. And you're saying the same thing for dogs.
Here's your argument that the only thing I'm going to say from your argument, let me see if you can relay it back to me. Maybe I'm getting it completely wrong, but the way I feel like it is, you advocately always say, and you've said before, and I to a certain extent agree with you, that people should have more rights than dogs. Dogs should not have as many rights as people. Your argument right now simply has to do with the fact that a pet is involved. There's an animal involved, so therefore the rights, there shouldn't have as many rights or anything like that. But the pet's not the thing that's involved. It's a disabled person that is involved. We're not talking about the pet. We're talking about the disabled person. You're pushing for all these extra registration, but like I said, it's going to just cost even more. The price is going to be racked up even more. And then we're going to have these companies that come out and say, we have the ability to properly register or check your dog and make sure that it's registered. And we can give you a piece of paper that says, yes, my dog is a registered dog for a fee though. And you're just creating a market for a business people to get involved in. That's what you're doing.
Can we have like service potbelly pigs or
there is that
service
that
macaws?
Exists.
Okay, service macaws, service boa constrictors. Where do we draw the line? Can we just get any pet we want and it to be my service animal?
If the pet can do something and it can actually help, then yeah, it should be able to do it. If you show me a snake and you say this is my service snake, I'd be like, show me something. Show me what it can do. Dude, I don't have any qualms. You have qualms about asking them these questions. I will be more than willing to say, all right, it's a service pet. Show me what it can do.
I've seen a motherfucker kiss a cobra. I've seen it on TV. He kisses the fucking cobra. He does a little thing with his fingers, and he puts that bitch to sleep. Okay, that fucking cobra got trained by that Indian man with the turban.
Yeah.
Playing the flute, yes.
Yeah.
So I've seen snakes do
tricks.
But
I mean, what I mean is show me something to help you, what it can do to help you. Like, I'm going to throw this napkin on the floor. Show me how the snake is going to help you get that napkin.
That would be impressive. I would pay to see
And you know what? If that snake can get that napkin, I'm like, that's the greatest fucking snake in the world. You're welcome.
You can have chicken nuggets, snake.
Exactly. Like, if somebody has a helper falcon or some shit like that, I'm gonna be skeptical, but I'm gonna be like, show me what it can do.
I told you this was gonna be an unpopular opinion of mine. But like I said, the only reason why your opinion is like this is because it has to do with animals. You're thinking on the animal. The animals, though.
But what I'm saying, you're thinking on the animal side. You're thinking like, people are taking advantage of this thing. And not all animals are service dogs. Like there needs to be a law against animals, but it's the people. We're talking about the disabled people. The disabled people are the ones that are going to suffer, not the animals. The animals aren't going to suffer if you do this law. It's not going to.
It's not the animals that make me mad. It's not the disabled people that make me mad. It's the people who aren't disabled that are bringing their dogs in. And I don't know. I don't know how we get around this without hurting the people who would actually use this. I don't know.
But like I'm saying, it's the same argument as welfare.
Yes.
Same argument as the health insurance. The same argument as transgender. It's the same argument. You're just on the opposite end this time.
I know, and I don't want. Just like those, I don't want the minority to affect the rest of the majority. I don't. But at the same time, it drives me fucking nuts. I know these assholes are doing it. What it sounds
like you're saying is, it's not fair. I can't take Prince anywhere.
I don't want to bring him. No, I don't. He'd be a pain in my ass. He's not a service dog.
I want a service tiger. That's what I want. I want a service tiger. You know, I watch these videos all the time on YouTube about people that like run rescues like in the wild for like they'll find like a baby tiger that has its whole family poached, and they'll bring the tiger back to raise it and stuff like that. And I'll watch these people, and they'll be an adult tiger, and they'll just get in there and they'll like play with it like a dog. They'll smack it across the face a few times. Tiger will jump on them. They'll wrestle around and everything like that. And I'm like, it's extremely dangerous, and he knows the risk he's taken, so it's fine. But I want to do that too. I'd like to do that.
Man, I love.
I've seen people wrestle with bears. Like they've raised a bear cub that they saved from the wild who was gonna die, and they raised it from a cub to this big fucking 9-foot, 600-pound fucking bear, and the bear just sits behind them, like, you know, like gives him like, you know, a little hug from the back, and he's just sitting there, and he's just like, puts his mouth on his head, and he's like, you bear, blah blah blah, and they'll wrestle around. I'm like, that's dangerous. But that's cool as shit.
I watched a BBC video where they went to some remote Amazonian tribe, and they brought them a laptop, and they played a video for them of a polar bear family. These freaking tribesmen lost their goddamn minds.
Really?
They went fucking apeshit. They're like, the fucking bears are white. like their heads exploded watching it. They're like, why are they white? And I'm like, that makes me laugh because we have zoos, and I love zoos. I love going and seeing these animals you would never see. But at the same time, I hate giving my money to people who are going to keep these beautiful creatures caged in little tiny pens. But at the same time, I love the animals and I love seeing them. So it's like a catch-22. I don't know what to do.
I'm the same way, but I'm going to go on a limb here and say I think some animals are a lot more intelligent than they let on. I kind of believe that, and I think some of those animals that are in the zoo are like, I'm fine with it. I'm not being hunted.
Like Madagascar?
Yeah, I'm not being hunted. I don't gotta run. I don't gotta look across my shoulder my whole life looking for stuff. I could fucking chill out for the rest of my life.
This tubby shit zookeeper James, he brings me my food every fucking day. I get to lay here on my fat ass and not
and you
do a
know
damn
what?
thing.
I get to throw my shit at him, and everybody thinks it's fucking hilarious. It is amazing life.
Well, that about does it.
Yes.
Good to be back.
It is good to be back.
It's very good to be back. Hopefully we'll feel better next week.
Ideally. I wouldn't put my money on it, though.
No?
No.
You're right. So, Adam, let the people know how they can get in touch with us at For Your Distraction.
If you want to get a hold of us and tell us what you think about service dogs, or what you think about slinging your shit at people, email us, fordistraction@gmail.com. We are on Facebook and we're on Twitter, For Distraction @podcast, FYD. Our show is on iTunes and it is on SoundCloud. Search For Distraction. Like us, rate us. You know, give us a review, share us with your friends. The only way we are going to grow is if you help us grow. We are also a member of the Be Real Podcasting Network. Head over to BREELnetwork.com. Got a lot of great shows on there. Share us with your friends. You're going to love it. We got the Movie Guys podcast. Hey, I like that game. You like video games? It's good. If you like movies, even better.
The beer of the show is the Artificial Intelligence from the Brutus Brewing Company in Sharon, Pennsylvania.
Et tu, Brute?
Yeah, I love it. Big fan of it.
Yeah, it was a good
Big fan
good
of it.
beer.
I wish I was feeling a little bit better because I would drink a lot more, but it's good stuff. Good stuff. So thanks to everybody over there at the Brutus Brewing Company in Sharon, Pennsylvania. The Artificial Intelligence is the beer of the show.
So nature is kind of bullshit. You ever watch those like insect videos every now and then, like Nat Geo videos or whatever, where it's like the tarantula is the one of the greatest hunters in the insect kingdom, except for the tarantula hawk, because the tarantula hawk stings the tarantula, paralyzes it, and then lays its egg on it, so that when the egg or the larva hatches, it eats the fucking tarantula inside out and grows up. Nature is bullshit. Could you imagine if that was in fucking real life? I don't consider that real life because it's insects, but could you imagine if it was in like real life? Like we had to deal with that bullshit.
It's like the fucking Alien thing before it turned, like from the movie Alien.
Yeah, the face hugger.
Yeah, the face hugger. It's like the insect version of the face hugger.
Yeah,
that's horrifying.
Nature's bullshit.
Yeah, fuck nature.
Nature's bullshit.
And fuck service dogs too.